that's another problem with prequels, is if it's not done really correctly, it messes up what you already love because it messes with the canon. It messes up the canon.
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians. Midichlorians. Klingons. Klingons.
Mixies presents the Popcast.
Hey, my name is Brian, that is Shane, and this is the Popcast. And today, we're talking about our top 10 most anticipated TV shows of 2018. List is pretty good. A little bit of overlap, but you'd be surprised. Not a whole lot. Shane?
Yeah, I don't know if you would be a lot of surprised. I mean, you guys all know that I'm not like a TV junkie or anything.
Like
so
your brother?
when you see my
like me?
well, yeah, so I don't have the skills that Brian does when it comes to knowing everything there is to know about what's on television. I just don't have it. But he does, so that's great. So my shows are going to reflect probably the limited amount of television I actually watch on a general basis. So we'll see.
I love me some TV.
Yeah,
Well,
I love TV too.
we're going to get right into it. Before that, let's talk about the 1600 sub challenge. We're getting close. We're getting some traction again now that we're back making videos. So get in there, subscribe, comment, like, share, all that good stuff to be a part of that giant, amazing, outstanding, outlandish, out of this world, crazy giveaway that will happen when we get to 1600 subs. This is also the last secret giveaway. After this giveaway, we'll be sharing exactly what we'll be doing. And remember, our giveaways are every time we double our subs, which we'll have to figure out what we're going to do once we get to 1 million subs, because our giveaways will be like years in between. But
well, you know, that's all up to the viewers.
if we
Could
ever
be
get
fast.
there. Yeah.
1 million subs. Well, I love your positive. Let's go get it.
I think we can get to
Love
1 million
it.
subs, in like
Why
12
not?
years, maybe 15,
Okay.
All right. But that's it. Yeah, get in there, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Let's get on to it. The very first, we're going to start at 10 and go to 1. The very first show we want to talk about, our number 10 list for both Shane and I, is Star Trek Discovery.
Whoa. I got to tell you, before this last episode, this would not have made my list of top 10 anticipated TV shows for this
I
year.
thoroughly agree. Yeah, it made my number 10 slot because the last episode has me on waiting anxiously for the following episode. So
Yeah, and because I don't completely trust it is the reason it is only on the 10th spot, because I'm not going to be fooled by it. So, maybe it becomes a super awesome TV show, but right now we're going to just slide you to number 10. And you got to remember, it's anticipated. Doesn't mean the best TV shows of 2018. Just which ones Brian and I want to watch.
and it's our anticipated. May not be your anticipated. In fact,
May not be.
if you have shows that that doesn't end up on this list that you want to share with us, comment below. I'm always looking for better TV shows. I gotta say,
let us know.
I feel like I've seen at least the trailer for all of them, and I purposely stay away from certain ones that look boring or slow. I don't like slow-paced television. But if there's a show that you think I should give a go, I just recently found the show Shameless after 10 years, and I love it. And I was told multiple times I should give it a go, and I just didn't. I didn't because it wasn't my cup of tea. It didn't have any superheroes in it, Come on. But
Yeah.
it's funny and it has heart, and it reminded me of people in my own family, so I like it now. So if you have any suggestions below, please let us know, and me and Shane will definitely check those out before our next top 10 list.
Yeah, no, Brian will definitely check them out, and Shane will be dragged into to be involved in it. But that's okay. I'm up for it.
All right, so number 9 on our list is Shane looking for Survivor, number 9. And Brian, myself, is all about that Stargate Origins, man.
I honestly completely forgot about Stargate Origins because I am anticipating that show a little bit. I would like to see that. So to be honest with you, I forgot about it. So that easily could have made my list. But Survivor, Ghost Island. Listen, guys, Survivor's been on for 15, 17 years now, and so basically, I love this show, and I know we didn't get a lot of traction on it for people viewing it, but I got to tell you, if you are not into Survivor, but you like reality TV, like I know a lot of our viewers do, go check out the next Survivor. Catch it from the beginning with Brian and I, because we're definitely going to be covering it.
You got to watch it from the beginning.
And,
you can't go halfway through like other reality shows.
And at some point, we have to talk about our bet that happened in the last Survivor, because I know that we didn't get to finish out. So I know that Brian's going to be spending some time.
We'll talk about
yes,
that.
Brian's going to be in an interesting situation, I think.
I lost.
When are we going to talk
bet.
about it, bro?
I lost a Survivor bet.
Yeah.
I'm going to be spending a couple days. We did double or nothing, and I lost both times. Yeah. So I'll be spending a couple days naked and afraid in the woods. We do have to wait for it to get a little bit warmer, because right now it's like 40 degrees outside.
Or do we?
We do. We definitely do. And what's going to happen is we're going to take a GoPro out there. We'll figure out where we're going to stay. And while Shane is probably hanging out in a tent or in an RV, enjoying his time, I'll be up in the hills trying to survive for a couple days on my own with nothing but a GoPro and my underwear. That's what's going to happen.
That's what happens when we bet on Survivor.
We'll film
bet
it.
On AGT.
We'll edit it, and we'll definitely show it before the next season of Survivor.
Yeah, we bet on AGT, and you dress up as Mel. So you bet on Survivor, shit get real.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
That red hair dye was the worst thing ever. Nothing can beat that. It gave me hives. I broke up. I had to go to the hospital. All right. So the reason Stargate Origins is not like number one on my list, considering I am such a massive fan of Stargate. Stargate is my number one of all time television show. Like, I love Star Trek, and I love Star Wars, and I love those things with all my heart. But Stargate has this very special place for me. I occasionally binge watch Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis. I've been trying to convince Shane to do like a Stargate run through for a show of one of those series. He keeps saying that and then ignoring me when I bring it up again.
I'll do it. Hey, listen, I'll commit to it right here and now. Let's do it.
Yeah, Stargate run through.
Yeah, Stargate run.
All right, you pick the series. It could be Universe, Atlantis, or SG-1. I'm cool with whatever.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. But the reason Stargate Origins is number 9 on my list and not higher is I detest prequels. I don't like going backwards in time. I usually hate it, but in this instance, I would like to know more about the Stargate program, and there's some history there that they didn't talk about in the show, and that's cool. But I also know where it's going, so it's going to be hard for me to really enjoy the show unless they write it, unless, number one, it's written well, and there's information and data and things to be worried about or whatever that have nothing to do with the other series. And number two, if the acting is done well. And that's nothing that concerns me. Some of the actors in this new show are definitely super green. And I don't know if it's going to entice me. Like, it's not Richard Dean Anderson level,
Yeah, but Richard Dean Anderson's entire crew was basically fresh actors. So
that's true. So we'll see.
Great.
We'll see. It's number 9 on my list. All
right.
right.
I got a question for you about Stargate. Just real quick. I'm surprised they're doing an origin show because the Stargate series went back in time so many times. I mean, we know how the Stargate was found. We know. So unless they're doing it from the perspective of Egyptian times, I don't know.
Well, no. So there was a period of time that we don't know about in Stargate. So they did go back in time a couple times. But remember, there was this character named Ernest who went through the Stargate and was stuck on the other side, and he was in one of those like diving helmets because they didn't know if he was going to have oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a whole episode dedicated to finding this old man on this random planet that they had dialed, and they didn't know how to get him back because when he got there was no DHD to come back home.
So there was a large gap of time between the
20s when
movie.
they find the original gate and the movie, right?
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know.
So that large gap of time where there were a few different Stargate programs that the government couldn't get off the ground, and everything was inconclusive because they didn't have enough data until Jackson came along with the missing pieces.
Gotcha. All right.
That's what this is about. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't break canon. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the Stargate universe. That's another problem with prequels, is if it's not done really correctly, it messes up what you already love because it messes with the canon. It messes up the canon.
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians. Klingons. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I hate prequels for that matter, and I don't understand why studios continually do prequels when they're so risky. Like when
people want to know what happened and they don't care.
Why not make a Stargate, Russian gate thing? Because we knew the Russians had a gate program. Why not make something about that? And they don't even have to like remotely touch the Stargate that we know of, and just stay within the normal basic confines of canon. But I don't know, or maybe just make it Stargate going forward. Like what happens after Atlantis? But whatever.
Makes sense.
If this is successful, we'll definitely see more Stargate, and so I'm hoping it's successful so we can get another Stargate program in the future that does go forward. All right, our number 8. Sorry, we talked about this too much. Our number 8 is Shane is looking forward to the Carbonaro effect.
Okay, so I knew you were going to do this. I knew you were going to do this. This is why I told you guys. Listen, I am not a heavy TV guy ordinarily. Let me tell you what I like.
Reality
I like the Carbonaro effect.
Yeah.
Season 4, baby. And let me tell you what, anybody who gives it a shot on True TV, anybody who gives the Carbonaro effect is going to just want more. He's a magician.
Listen,
he does magic on people who don't realize it's happening.
I've seen 2 seasons of this.
It's a fantastic show.
I agree.
And I'm looking forward to it.
That it can be entertaining. But here's the problem. I feel like most of that is fake and scripted.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And once I saw a couple like bad actors, it was hard for me to get past. Maybe not all of it. And now I question every single sketch.
So you think that they put actors in there? So listen, Brian is trying to taint my show, guys. Listen, don't listen to him.
Either it's actors or they cut it in a way where the reaction is separate than what you're seeing, and the angle. I don't know.
I haven't caught that, and I've seen 3 seasons so far. I will just say this. This is not, like I said, it's not the best TV shows of 2018, but it's Shane's most anticipated TV shows of 2018. And I love this show, and I can't wait for season 4 to come out.
I'm happy for you.
Okay.
All right. My number 8 is Westworld.
Oh, which people would probably say that makes sense.
Yeah. So Westworld has a budget of millions of dollars. And
the Carbonaro effect's got
Academy Award winning actors. And the Carbonaro effect is this young musician with a couple of GoPros out at a 7-Eleven. So, okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
There's an extreme contrast between our number 8 picks. I'm looking forward to Westworld. Westworld, the first season was amazing. It was better than the books for me. It really did a lot. I liked it a lot, and I cannot wait to find out more about this world. Where is Westworld? And is season 2 going to be, samurai world or whatever? It's going to be a different setting, or are they going to continue down the Westworld path because there's no more book left for Westworld, right? So right now they're sort of riding blind, and they got to either do something different or they got to expand on the same world and cast they have now. We did see in Westworld when they were running through the offices that there's a samurai world and there's different levels. So, I don't know. It's fascinating. I feel like we're going to see more. They did technically kill one of the main characters last season. Spoiler alert. So, it's going to be.
I guess I'm going to have to watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch Westworld, man. It's good. The fact that you haven't seen it is probably why you're not excited for it.
Well, I actually tried to watch it, and I was like pretty excited about it because you guys have been talking about so great about it. And so I got me and my 8-year-old son Dax. And
your 8-year-old can't watch that.
Well, so let me finish my story. The reason I'm not watching Westworld. We're sitting on the couch, and I hit play first episode, right? And all of a sudden, it starts from way back here, and the camera pans in and in and in and in, and there's a naked girl sitting there. And
immediately,
I'm like, whoa, turn it off. Yeah. So that's what happened and why Westworld never happened for me.
HBO, man, dragons and titties. That's how they roll.
But I know, right? But I'm watching it on. I don't remember what it was on, but it was not on HBO. So.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be great. The reason it's not higher on my list, to be honest, is there's other HBO shows that I definitely would rather watch than Westworld, even though Westworld's fascinating and really well done and really great stories and all that stuff. It's a little, you gotta commit a lot to Westworld. You can't casually watch an episode and enjoy it. You gotta really commit your time. I couldn't watch Westworld until my kids were in bed, all my work was done, and I was sitting in front of the TV completely distraction free. There's just too much going on. It's too detailed. It's a little too slow. So, I love it, but those criticisms are why it's number 8 on my list and not higher.
It's a little bit of work.
So, yeah, it's a little effort there. All right, unlike Carbonaro effect, which you do 0 effort.
No effort whatsoever. The whole point of television.
All right, number 7. Another true TV for Shane in Practical Jokers. By the way, I have nothing bad to say about Practical Jokers. I love this show, but it did not make my list. It didn't make my list because it's something I put on. I've actually purchased, me, Brian, the guy who grew up torrenting. I've now purchased the first 10 seasons of Impractical Jokers, not at one time, gradually over the last few years. I bought them on Amazon because whenever I have a party or something at my house or a barbecue or a birthday party or whatever, I put those seasons on. I'll put the entire...
Well, there's only 6 seasons, just a heads up, so...
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. All 10 volumes. There's 10 volumes.
Okay. Gotcha.
I've gotten all 10 volumes, and I'll put them on. And just have them play from episode 1 to episode whatever. And it's a great... it's fun to watch. I can sit there and watch them over and over again. I can watch episodes over and over again because they're funny. They're really funny. These guys are hilarious.
Well, I became somewhat obsessed. So here's what happened, guys. Last July, we were heading out to Colorado to visit my family. And we stopped at a hotel in the middle of nowhere in, where was it at? It was in Utah, in the middle of nowhere. Or Nevada, actually, in the middle of nowhere. And we stopped, and we really had nothing to do, and I'm flipping the channels, and I'm like, True TV? What the heck's this True TV stuff? So I happen to stop on it, and I see these Impractical Jokers. I'm supposed to be doing other stuff. 2 hours later, I'm still sitting in front of the television because it was back-to-back-to-back episodes, and I just realized I have completely fallen in love with this. I love that they do stuff to the general public, and to be honest with you, I'm totally enamored with the show, and I watch it nightly. It's what I go to bed to every night, so I love it.
Yeah, whenever I don't have anything to watch, I'll turn on old episodes of Impractical Jokers. I really like these guys. These guys are funny.
The stuff they do to each other is crazy. I mean,
and it's just genuine. It's very genuine. It feels real, and I'm sure it is. And And even the behind the scenes stuff, the great thing about buying the volumes on Amazon is at the end of every episode on Amazon, they have the behind the scenes of that episode. Right. There's another camera that's showing you, that's interviewing the guys and the cast and the crew and all that. And these guys often have no clue what's going on. In fact, they have to trick each other. So they'll be like, hey, yeah, we're going out to film this thing at the beach. And for the opening shot, we're gonna bury Murray, the skinny guy right there, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna bury him just for the opening shot. But then they'll leave Murray in the sand, buried up to his neck, and then continue on the show and just have a camera sitting on Murray the whole time.
That's
Murray didn't know. They thought they're gonna bury him for the opening show, then dig him up for the episode. But then they just leave him for the entire episode just stuck in the sand. That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, it's totally hilarious. A great show. So that's my number 7. I'm looking forward to season 7. I really love the show.
Yeah, it didn't make my list because there's too many other good things on here that are that have big budgets and stories and stuff that I didn't put a whole lot of reality shows on my list.
Yeah,
right.
You can see where I'm at.
My number 7 is Krypton. So it's another prequel, but it's a little different. So this is premiering.
Basically, nothing that happens on Krypton can change the Superman story. So yeah, no problem.
Well, no, it can though.
How?
That's the great thing. While it's a prequel, it has real life. It has present day, not real life, present day consequences, which is great. So what they're doing is, this is premiering in March on Sci-Fi. I haven't seen a show on Sci-Fi that I've cared about for, I don't know, a decade now, since they canceled Stargate.
Yeah.
So what this show is about is some guy in the future, Superman disappears. He just disappears. And this guy, in order to figure out what happened, because they need Superman, uses some tech to travel back in time to Krypton's to Superman's past. And he has to keep going back in time until he goes all the way back in time, all the way to Krypton, to find out the moment that changed Superman's future. And apparently somebody else had gone back in time to erase the Superman's lineage on purpose.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So instead of fighting Superman, it's like that old thing. Instead of trying to kill Hitler now, let's go back in time and just kill his parents. Right?
That's cool.
So this guy has got to team up with other people on ancient Krypton, sort of Game of Thrones style, to correct the timeline and Superman's lineage, and more than likely will change it a little bit, which will explain some various canon issues with modern day Superman. There's, Superman nowadays, because of the last 60 years of Superman, there's some plot holes and stuff that don't add up, right?
Okay, yeah.
That fans complain about. And I know, I have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to use this show and the whole time travel aspect the same way J.J. Abrams did with his latest Trek, with the 2009 Trek, to sort of shore up some of the timeline issues and plot holes that fans have been complaining about for the last couple of decades. So I'm excited to see that.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if it's going to be good, but I hope.
The graphic looks fantastic.
The graphics look phenomenal. They're using they're using the style from Man of Steel of Krypton with all the. I think it's going to be really good. Okay, guys, that's our number 7s. Let's talk about our number 6. For Shane, it's Castle Rock, a Stephen King TV series adaptation. You want to tell us a little about this? Because I have no idea what this is.
So basically, it's going to be a TV show that's starring Bill Skarsgård, who played the Pennywise the Clown in the most recent It movie, and the It movie that'll be coming out probably in 2019. He actually is the main actor, and it's basically Stephen King's Castle Rock is a fictional place that takes place in, Maine, near Stephen King's stomping ground, and a lot of stories take place there. And this show is basically going to be a show that takes place in Castle Rock, and Stephen King-esque things are going to be occurring in it. And it's not the first Stephen King television series that's come out, but this is pretty anticipated because it's actually taking place in a world that many of us who like Stephen King know a lot about Castle Rock. And so it's going to be fun to be able to see how they bring that to life on TV. I'm really looking forward to some interesting stories.
That sounds interesting. I have not heard about this. I really liked Under the Dome before it got convoluted and walked away from the Stephen King part of the story. I think what they were trying to do with Under the Dome was they were trying to make it viable for a season 3.
Right.
And in doing so, they actually destroyed the story and dragged it out to a point where it wasn't possible to continue going.
Exactly.
When they walked away from Stephen King's part of the story, in order to keep, everybody wants to have a 10 season TV show, but there are some TV shows that are based on books and authors that cannot possibly go that long. They have in order for it to be a good series, you can't drag it out to 10 seasons. You gotta finish it within a couple seasons. And they started to drag it out, and they started to add some stuff that instead of just going straight to the point, they knew that once they got there, they couldn't continue, so they changed the story at the very end, and in doing so, people stopped watching, and it got canceled. They should have stick with the story and gone out on top. But I do like Stevie. I love that show, so I'm gonna give this show a shot, even though it's not on my list.
Okay, that's cool. You're actually gonna do it. Well, if you want to give it a shot, it looks like it's coming out probably. I don't have a date for it yet. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, while he's doing that, let's talk about my number 6. That's going to be X-Files. X-Files is coming back with brand new episodes. I know we had a little mini-series thing going on a couple years ago, and it was okay. It was like 6 episodes or something like that, and it was, you know what it was? It was them testing the waters to make sure, to see if audience wanted X-Files back, and it was the ratings were off the charts. People watched every episode. It was very loved, so that gave them enough reason to create another season, not just a miniseries, another season of X-Files with that same
They're not
cast.
starting over. They're just season 11 is basically what's happening.
Right. It's going to take place after the events of the miniseries, and it's going to continue the story of Fox Mulder and Scully.
Right.
And so, yeah, this is my number 6 because I loved X-Files back in the day, and I am very much looking forward to this. This actually airs coming up soon, like next month, right?
Actually, no, it aired, the first episode aired last week.
Oh, no joke. I missed it. So I got to go back and watch that.
Castle Rock actually is a cryptic 2018 release date, so we don't know when it's going to happen, but sometime this year.
Yeah, there's a few other things on my list that also have weird cryptic release dates. It's really hard to lock them down. Actually, the reason why Rick and Morty, which I'm wearing a Rick and Morty shirt, I love me some Rick and Morty. Probably one of my favorite TV series. I know it's a cartoon. It seems silly, but it's definitely very adult. The reason it didn't make my list is because even though it's supposed to have a season 4 this year, that has not been confirmed by anybody. In fact, last time for season 3, they said, 2015, and we didn't even see it until 2017. So, yeah, I don't believe that it will be back this year. The writers take their time, and the quality of the time they take really shows through these seasons. So, take as much time as you need, as long as it's quality.
Take as much time as you need.
Yeah, I don't need you to rush it. South Park. All right. Moving on. Number 5. Shane is looking forward to The Walking Dead.
I am in it right now. I am in The Walking Dead right now, and gosh, I got to tell you, I just love this TV show, man. I just love it.
I tried.
I know you did. I know you tried.
I really did.
it's I didn't know I would like it. And I'm not a Walking Dead crazy person that started at the beginning and kind of followed it through. I didn't start watching The Walking Dead until season 6 probably. So I'm relatively new to it. I went back, watched everything, and now I'm caught up and I'm just with it. I mean, they've got a great bad guy in Negan who's bad, but only bad because of his perspective, which is what I love. They're all trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic world, and gosh, if you haven't watched The Walking Dead, in my opinion, it's worth going back and running through it just so you can catch up with it. So
this is my problem with Walking Dead and why I couldn't continue. It just, maybe I'm not as interested so much in the character development. A lot of characters die often. And I had a really hard time with no one ever settling down and creating society, and I just feel like I would, if we were in a zombie post-apocalyptic world, I would do things differently.
Well, you had to make it to season 6 in order to get what you're asking for there, and that's basically how long it took. They tried to settle down several times, but every time they tried to settle down, something would, either they'd be attacked or something would happen.
So I'm looking for like post-apocalyptic zombie Smith, Family Robinson style show, and where they deal with challenges. But I guess you got to get all the way to season 6 to get that. And I didn't get that far. I got to season 2.5, and I just sort of stopped watching, to be honest.
Well, if it didn't hold your interest, then it's not. And you're not a big horror guy as it is.
No, I don't like horror. I hate jump scares. I'm not a fan of jump scares.
There's a lot of gore in The Walking Dead, so it's really great makeup that they've done really with that show. But I enjoy it. I love it. My whole family watches it, and it's kind of a thing for us. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you love it. And my number 5 is Supernatural. It just started airing again. The back half of season 12 or 13. Oh man, I don't even know. And so we're going to be getting that pretty soon. Here, we're going to get the last half of season 13. But then the way Supernatural works is basically the new season starts in August or so, and you get the first like 10 episodes or so, and then they go on Christmas break, and they come back in January, February, and they finish the next 10 episodes, and they come back in August, and it's like clockwork with these guys. And I gotta say, I've been watching Supernatural from the beginning. It's now officially one of the longest running live-action TV shows with the same cast of all time, even beating out Stargate SG-1. And I love it, man. I know a lot of every season, is sort of a rehash, and I didn't think that they can ever get a bigger bad than like Darkness.
Darkness, yeah.
Yeah. So last season it was like, oh, the big bad, the big villain of the story was Darkness, like in the Bible when it says
the darkness. So yeah.
When it says God said let there be light, and before that there was nothing but darkness. Like this was the absolute worst thing, the very first bad. Somehow they wrapped that up into this whole thing where the darkness wasn't even really a villain. It was a misunderstood entity. And we met God for the first time. We finally met him last season, and he was Chuck, which is great. And he came back, and the darkness was competition for him, but they made amends, and it was great the way they wrapped that story up. It wasn't your classic, being the villain kind of story. And now we're back on a more of a villain track where there's somebody that's a villain. Obviously, but we don't know if that's going to be the person that remains the villain, if he's going to switch sides or what's going on. It's very interesting. And these guys have a great chemistry, and so I've been watching it for years, and I really look forward every year. I look forward. It's always my number 5 every year. It's my number 5,
number 5.
Waiting for Supernatural to come out again. Love me some Supernatural.
Yeah, I actually was introduced to Supernatural while I was stationed in Iraq. One of the cool few things that they had started doing at that time is they had just started kind of compiling TV shows and stuff together. That was right when you could start actually binge watching episodes of old shows when that first happened. I got to tell you, that changed life for so many people. When
it did.
Before that, you could not just go grab a TV show, an old show, and find it. You had to catch it in reruns. There was no way to get it.
Right.
So I was able to actually watch the first 3 seasons of Supernatural from in Iraq at night, when I was off watch. And that was actually pretty cool. And I really liked the show. But after that, they stopped doing a Freak of the Week kind of thing, and I got disinterested when they got into vampires. So so I really stopped watching it after that.
They stopped doing episodic Freak of the Week content around season 3, and around season 7, they got a little more silly, and they started becoming very meta, where they would make fun of themselves, and they would go like they went to another dimension where Supernatural was an actual TV show, and they made the joke season 7 and a wedding. That's actually a thing that happens in TV. When a series gets to season 7, a lot of the times one of the main characters will be getting married. So one of the villains for a week was this crazy chick that wanted to marry Sam. And so they purposely started playing, because they thought season 7 was the end. So they were going to have fun with season 7 and just end it out. Like, here we're going to have fun. We're going to get real meta with it. We're going to have different dimensions. But that actually injected them with a new base of viewers, and their ratings went up instead of down. And so the network kept them on. And in season 8, they went back to episodic content with an underlying story arc, and they went the X-Files route. So they had Freak of the Week still, but there was an underlying story arc that kept going on, and they've kept that format now since season 8, and I like it. It's good.
It's working. All right,
and sometimes the Freak of the Week will connect to the arc, but a lot of the times it doesn't, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on. Number 4. For Shane, it's American Idol.
Man, I cannot wait. I mean, just we had 2 seasons off of American Idol, I think, and I've been watching American Idol since the very beginning. And I can't sing very well, but for whatever reason, I found that I really like watching other people sing. I don't know what it's all about, and I love the whole process and the
you and
the
a lot of
auditions.
America.
I do, and I love it. I love the voting. I mean, I really like reality TV. And so I'm really excited that American Idol's coming back here, and we're actually going to be covering it on the show.
Yeah, good news for you American Idol fans. We'll be covering American Idol the same way we covered America's Got Talent. I have never seen a single episode of American Idol. I have never cared for it.
You're going to love this.
I've never even tried to watch it. If American Idol, when American Idol commercials come on, I change the channel. Not even the series. I have purposely stayed away from American Idol because I do not care at all. But I'm going to watch it from that extreme fresh perspective, along with Shane, the veteran of American Idol.
Which is what happened during Survivor, and now you're like a super Survivor fan.
I love Survivor, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do that together, and I hope that I end up liking it the way I like Survivor. I don't care for other people singing as much as other people do. Like, to be honest, when America's Got Talent has singing acts, I'm usually bored. You know what I mean? And I'm like sort of waiting for the next variety act to pop up. But we'll see, man. I hope it's good. I also don't like modern music right now.
Yeah, that's tough.
Modern music currently, this sounds like a really old fogey thing to say. I'm not an old fogey, okay? I'm only 38.
Damn kids, get off my lawn.
I'm 38 years old. But I don't... Modern rap music, I legitimately can't even understand. Like...
Wait.
I can't understand a single word they're saying. It's like, imagine listening to music in a different language.
Listen, here's what's worse. I didn't even know they still made rap music.
Oh, yeah.
So
no, they do. It's like here's modern rap music. Ha ha. You're like, what is happening right now? They're all drunk on some kind of scissor, and it just sounds so horrible to me, and I can't understand it. And I'm somebody that in the 90s loved rap music.
Yeah, I'm sure we've got some videos for you.
I loved rap music. I have videos that I made pre-YouTube rapping.
You have a Batman rap that I wrote the lyrics to that we did.
Right.
We're going to show that on one of our shows.
I was in a live hip-hop band when I was 18 where I played the drums and rapped with the rest of the group. We had a bass player, a DJ, a guitarist, and a piano player. We would play live hip-hop while I was rapping. And I did that band for almost 2 or 3 years. I loved it. But now it just sounds like people mumbling and grunting and groaning in different languages.
Mm.
So,
well,
I don't know if it's my age
don't have that on American Idol.
or the quality of the music has just gone to crap. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Although I do love that song Despacito. I don't know why. Despacito. I don't know why. I don't know. It was something about it gets me going, and I don't understand that either. But okay. My number 4 is Silicon Valley, also an HBO show. For me, Silicon Valley beats Westworld because I understand Silicon Valley. I understand the world they live in, and getting a access pass to like the going on and like the inner workings of Silicon Valley when that was sort of an industry that me and Shane worked in for a while. It's really awesome, man, because we were those people starting a business based on programming a decade ago, and watching them try to succeed in this new crazy world, where there's so much competition is phenomenal. And I gotta say, the comedy of it is not like slapstick. It's real life comedy, usually at the expense of the main characters, which is really fun to watch. It's funny. The characters are great. The comedy is really amazing. The writing is fantastic, and it shows you inner workings of the most powerful people in the world, Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I think if there was, of the shows that you probably want to watch, this is one I probably would like to try.
Silicon Valley really is a fantastic series. I think you should watch it, Shane. We're never going to do a weekly show talking about it, I'm sure. It might not be that kind of a show, but it is definitely worth the time. It really is. And there's no nudity or whatever, so you can watch it with your kids. There's a lot of cursing. But, yeah, man. And you and I worked in this industry, Shane. We sold software. So
yeah, no, it's cool. That's one thing that intrigues me about it, and I'm glad we don't do that anymore. But
that was not a fun life. Let me tell you something.
Right.
You got to have balls of steel, brass balls to do that job, and we are no longer in the brass ball territory.
No. They're more. Yeah, they're aged.
Yes. All right. Moving on. Our number 3. Both of us have decided. And this is separate. We decided separately on our list, and we both
we
decided
didn't tell each other
that America's Got Talent was going to be our number 3, which is interesting. Our number 10 was the same too. So
that's true. Well, I think that it's last season was. There's a lot of things that were wrong with America's Got Talent, but at its core, it's still the best variety talent.
It's the only
reality show out there. Yeah, it's still the best, and no matter what happens, they're still surprising me, and I'm still getting new stuff every year, and I'm excited to see it again this year.
Yeah, a lot of people watching this might have found us because of our America's Got Talent videos, where we basically ragged on it every single week.
Right.
Because there were a lot of problems. They telegraphed their picks and didn't show us the full acts of things and a lot of issues, you know. And, you know, I didn't like Tyra Banks, which is why I covered
I can see that by little number 3 you just put over her face there.
Not a fan of Tyra. She was a better toward the end of the series when it was like a lot less of Tyra and more of just being a host.
Yeah.
But you know what? It hasn't changed its position on my list in 10 years. It's still my number 3 most anticipated TV show of the year. I'm really looking forward to it. If this year has the same problems that last year had, then next year in January when we're doing this list, it will not be my number 3. I will definitely move that number at least a couple points.
That's fair. And, you know, Simon staying with the show is a must. He's got to be on the show.
I agree with that. Yeah, he was really the only exceptional thing from last year. There was plenty of good stuff, but he was the only person that was exceptional from last year. So
I agree with that.
All right. That's our number 3. And, you know, I know that some of you guys are looking forward to this because we need to get back in our AGT videos. I can't wait for that, man. It's
going to be a lot of fun.
I almost like doing our videos sometimes more than doing the show, than watching the show.
Oh,
you know, it's like because maybe it's because I've already watched the show, but like rehashing all that and having fun talking about it and all that is so fun. It's really
it is fun. Yeah. We both get to talk. A lot of times we're doing recaps of TV shows and we're just kind of running through the show and we're talking about it. But it seems like when we do AGT, we're really getting to evaluate it. And that's a lot of fun.
Yes. Our number 2, Shane's number 2 is The X-Files. He obviously has it much higher on his list. Not much higher, but, you know, it's number 2. Yeah. So why is it number 2 for you, Shane? Why is this your number 2 most anticipated show this year?
Well, I'll tell you. A couple reasons. Number 1, it came back after so long. I thought X-Files was just gone. And I loved X-Files. I absolutely loved watching it. It was a fantastic show. And it was gone. And I missed Mulder and Scully. But I'll tell you what brought it to number 2. Because last week was the first episode. But it was just announced on Wednesday that she's not coming back.
Scully?
Scully is leaving the show.
After this season or right now?
Yeah, no. I think she's leaving during the season.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Oh, well, that would add to my anticipation.
Right. This is what I'm trying to say.
I would like to have a different partner for Mulder that has more chemistry.
Right.
If I had one complaint about X-Files, only one, it would be the chemistry between Mulder and Scully has always been a little bit off.
Right. It's always felt a little weird, right?
Yeah, it's always been a little off.
Kind of a hazy relationship. So apparently that's it. So I don't know exactly when she's going to leave. She might actually finish out the season, but she definitely is not going to go forward. So I'm interested to see A, how they get rid of her.
Yeah.
And B, who they bring in to do the show with.
I know who it's going to be. It's going to be those 2 young people that they had during the miniseries. There was a couple of young people. One was a doctor, and just like Scully, and she was a woman. And one was a young agent who was interested in Fox's old cases. I bet you they make this thing a trio, bro, and it's like him and the 2 younger agents. I would love that. That actually sounds like a show I want to watch.
Yeah, that's a little different. So I became kind of a little bit more anticipated. I was already kind of like, okay, cool, I'm glad it's back. It wasn't number 2, though. It became number 2 when I realized they were going to change things.
Wow. That means that they're planning on a longer than just one, quick reunion season.
Exactly.
Dude, first of all, I love the actor that plays Fox Mulder.
David Duchovny?
Yeah, David Duchovny. I love David Duchovny. I love him in Californication. He's really fantastic. And the older he gets, the more interesting he gets. It's weird. So I would love if he was like the patriarch on the show, and he was, guiding these young, new blood through the system. That's gonna be great.
That'd be cool.
All right.
So hopefully that's what happens.
Oh, it just in my mind, it just moved up on my list now. Thank you, Shane.
Awesome.
Well, listen, my number 2 is Legends, and I gotta tell you why. I know we're not covering Legends of Tomorrow. It's just too hard to cover Legends of Tomorrow because it's like, right? It was last season was right after the Flash, and the Flash takes precedence, and But this season, it's replacing Supergirl, and if we had more days in the week, we would cover it because it's such a fun series. I almost want to say, I look forward to Legends when they're running together all the Arrowverse shows. I look forward to Legends more than any of the other Arrowverse shows.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's so fun, and it's so sci-fi, and it's like they took a bunch of old sci-fi and they sort of updated it, and with these new characters. And I have fallen in love with I hated Sarah. I hated her on Arrow. She was horrible on Arrow.
Right.
Whenever she was on screen, it was a bummer. I didn't like her being there. I didn't like the way she looked, the way she acted. I didn't like her dramatic everything. But on this show, I love Sarah. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
It's the weirdest thing. I didn't like Mick very much. I loved Captain Cold on The Flash, but Mick was sort of just a throwaway character that didn't mean anything to me. And now I love him.
I know, he's fantastic. Yeah, this show's great.
Same with the Atom. Every character on here was sort of like a throwaway character from the other shows that you didn't care about if they lived or died or if they went away. But they put them on this show. These rejects have all gone on this show, and they've been allowed to shine, and it's really, really great to watch.
And it's not the story that's doing it. A lot of times the story will carry the characters. It's the actors themselves.
Yeah, it's the actors
are really good, and they're so rejects from all these shows. So fantastic.
And they weren't great on the other shows. They weren't great on the other shows. They were subpar. But on this show, they're allowed to shine, and they're really fantastic. The acting is great. The characters are comfortable. The chemistry is amazing. I love this show so much. I cannot wait for it to come back in February. It's going to replace Supergirl, which I'm okay with. I'm not a huge fan of Supergirl. Notice we don't cover Supergirl because we just don't care enough to cover it.
Yeah.
We have to care about something. We're not going to cover something. Oh, everybody wants to cover it. I guess we go ahead and cover it. We'll try to cover something that people request. But if there's no chemistry for us personally, we can't enjoy it. We're not even going to bother.
No, we're not going to sell it like that.
Couldn't deal with Supergirl, so we didn't cover it. We still love The Flash, and we're going to cover The Flash no matter what. But Legends, we're really hoping that at some point we find an available day to talk about Legends, even if we just mix it in with The Flash.
Yep.
All right.
Please talk about it.
Listen, our number 1. I think some of you have already guessed this. Based on our.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
Based on our previous videos and our previous discussions, if you watch our show, Happy Arbor Day.
Yeah.
Orville is our number 1. Comes back at the end of the year. We are so happy to watch the Orville season 2. This was a breakout hit for us. We loved every second of the Orville. It started with an episode that was okay, and it just got better and better and better, and every episode was better and better, and it was... I can't say enough about this show, man.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's so great. It grew on us. It became... I know a lot of people who watch this love the show.
Like a multicolored fungus.
I care about every one of these characters.
Every one of these characters, I'm interested in their future and what they do. And it's so uncommon for you to watch an ensemble TV show where every character you are interested in their future and what they're going to accomplish. And they've managed to sort of, except for Scott Grimes, they've had an episode about every character. But Scott Grimes, who's often being observed as sort of the audience, has not had his own episode. And I don't know if that's because maybe they don't feel like he can carry his own episode or what. But that doesn't make me care any less about him because he's in all the other episodes.
I mean, look at his face right there. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's so great, man.
Makes you laugh.
This show
I agree.
is amazing.
And it's not coming back until the fall, which I guess it gives them a lot of time to make a bunch of stuff. But it's a long time to have to wait for it.
It is. We're going to have to wait till the end of the year, guys.
Yeah.
But we are anticipating it.
We got other shows to watch. We got lots to do.
We have lots to do before then, but we're going to get there. And that's it for our list. We stop on the Orville. And we want to thank you for spending time with us today. I know this hour you spent watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.
Hope we gave you some insight on what's coming up this year.
It took us an hour to get through a top 10 list.
It takes us an hour to get through everything.
I know. There's something wrong with us. We can't stop talking.
I know.
But that's
But thank you for listening if you're still here.
Thank you for listening. That's it for our show, everybody. Please come back tomorrow. We're going to do another show. It's going to be great. We don't know what it is yet. Actually, we know what it is, but we can't. It's a surprise. You'll see tomorrow.
Ooh.
We're still working out the details. It's going to be something related to something coming up. But listen, I thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Hit the alert button if you're new here. And we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll catch you guys tomorrow.